Tuhin Sinha, Sandeep Ghosh and Saurabh Shukla are joining my panel this evening along with Brahma Chelani, Satish Kesing and Pankaj Sharma. I want to start with Dr. Brahma Chelani. In a recent Twitter post, you have questioned Indian systems on how we allowed this money to come in. Is that really the question here? Or is the question who took the money? Dr. Chelani?
If we can't track the inflow of money, then obviously we are not discharging our responsibility. We're talking about USAID. In the last 2 decades, the USAID, by its own figures, has spent something like almost nearly $3 billion in India, $3 billion, just $650 million in the last 4 years by its figures. And we have not been able to track its projects. Of course, the USAID does some good work in India, including in healthcare, but it has also engaged in activities that are neither transparent nor linked to its supposed role as an aid agency seeking to mitigate poverty. We know from their global spending that they are into all kinds of things, including media management, information control, censorship, or even election interference. So they are engaged in activities that have nothing to do with their original mandate that was established when John F. Kennedy, then president, set up this agency in 1961.
There must be, from your information, you're in the policy world, you're in the academic world, policy world. Can you, without taking names, tell me, who are the kind of grateful recipients of USAID money in India? Who are the kind of people who take it? People. Dr. Chelani, who are the kind of people who take money from USAID?
Oh, okay. You're asking me. Sorry.
That's to you.
I wouldn't know if the government of India doesn't know. How would I know? But the issue is this. That they
21 million, a lot of money spent to influence the Indian election. That's a revelation, isn't it, Saurabh? That's a big revelation.
Absolutely, Arnab. And if I can add here, I was hearing your, interviewing Sanjeev Sanyal, and you made a very, very valid point. This is the time when the momentum is there. Elon Musk and Donald Trump are pushing for complete transparency. There is no reason why India cannot get these names. And Brahma obviously is rightly talking, but I can tell you there are people in the academia, in the think tank world, even journalists, they all need to be named.
Even journalists. Even journalists, Satish, come in on journalists taking money from USAID.
Just bear me for a minute.
Sell out journalists.
National security is paramount. India's national interest should be paramount. We have to make sure that anybody who's done this to harm election integrity in India or impact India's democratic elections has to be named and action has to be taken. The government should go and make sure, there are sham conferences which are being held. Supposedly think tanks.
Tell us, give us the inside story. Why do you, why just say everything. Say everything, reveal it.
I'm telling you.
No, I want the viewers of Republic to know the dirt and the slime that is going on about the Mir Jafar journalists and Mir Jafar organizations taking money from the USAID and US State Department. Name everyone tonight. Let's have an open show.
Anybody, there should be a concerted effort. The Home Ministry has tighter norms they can easily investigate and find out. From the annual reports, Home Ministry has all the agencies at its disposal to make sure who has got this money. Which are the organizations which were behind this, and name them and then take action, because this is the right time to do it, because otherwise we'll miss out. And also, once you've done the cleaning there, go to other, supposedly these aid agencies, which are foreign aid agencies, which are working in India and harming our sovereignty.
So this whole Soros thing, Satish, what happened is when we said Soros, you said, no Soros, all your imagination. Now, Soros, Open Society Foundation, US State Department, USAID, manipulating political landscapes, foreign intervention tool. Everything is in the open. There are Indian traitors, Mir Jafar journalists, Mir Jafar organizations gratefully salivating and taking the money from the Americans. Give me more money. Give me more money, I will sell my country. I say tonight, Satish, name and shame these USAID pays. Whole Lutyens cabal will break apart.
I agree with you, Arnab.
Satish.
No, Lutyens cabal doesn't hold anymore. Why? Lutyens cabal is no more in existence now. It is Kamal cabal. So, what do I mean to say is that it took 12, 13 years for government to open its eyes when this DOGE has banned this US aid to India. Why it took 13 years to name those Mir Jafars? You should dig it out, because everybody knows that US deep state is involved everywhere. No, nothing about it. Soros was not it's not a new name, it's known for ages here. Well, what did we do? Number one. But I am more concerned, Arnab, about the sanctity and credibility of our election process, of our election funding, of our election commission, and our everything. Why do we look at Americans if they?
Yeah. So what are you concerned about? Was it our election commission? 1 minute, Satish. Look at the picture on your right. Everyone, ladies and gentlemen, look at the picture on your right. The pictures are H.S. Brahma, S.Y. Qureshi, along with William Sweeney. William Sweeney. Who is William Sweeney? Satish.
That is why I'm asking.
Who is William the Sweeney? Who is William Sweeney?
Who
is William Sweeney? And why did William Sweeney come to India to sign an agreement with the Election Commission of India and sign this memorandum, of which I have a copy? William Sweeney's memorandum is with me. And Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi and Tony Adam, I know, were in power when this was signed in 2012. And according to this election, are you seeing the pictures?
That is why I'm asking you.
Ask Sonia Gandhi.
See the picture from here.
Ask Sonia Gandhi.
I have a question to again reiterate. Oh, you don't listen. You don't listen. Why it took 13 years?
13 years for what?
Question.
13 years.
And you are asking about, you are
I'm saying that, okay, 1 minute, okay, Tuhin is on, Tuhin is on. Ladies and gentlemen, there are 4 people in the picture. There are 4 people in the picture. Let me explain, I'm just coming to you. I'm coming to you, sir, just a minute. Just a minute. The date is, exact date is 17th of May 2012. I witness thereof, these parties have signed this memorandum of understanding in New Delhi, signed by S.Y. Qureshi and William R. Sweeney Jr., President and Chief Executive Officer of the International Foundation for Electoral Systems, funded by USAID, George Soros' Open Society Foundation, and the US State Department, when Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi are in power. Who sold the Election Commission of India, Satish? Who compromised the Election Commission of India?
I am asking you.
Who compromised it?
Arnab, why did
you know how big this is?
For 13 years?
Arnab, can I?
Why?
Please.
Who compromised it? Did Rahul Gandhi not know? Was Manmohan Singh blind? Was Sonia Gandhi deaf? Could she not hear exactly what was going on at that point of time? Only people like you and Pankaj Sharma never questioned the sellout that was happening under our very eyes. What are you saying? And you know, there's a clause here. You know what the clause says? Very dangerous clause. I want to put the clause up. Employees of the parties are not permitted to copy or disclose to third parties any information gained in the conduct of their duties under this MOU unless authorized to do so by the parties. Which means no employee, which means that unless the Americans gave permission, not even the Chief Election Commissioner could share what he or the EC was sharing with the Americans. The Americans had taken grip over the EC. How serious is that? To Tuhin is on the debate, ladies and
can I
gentlemen.
make my-
I will open the lines tonight. Yes, Tuhin.
Arnab, in all fairness, I would refrain from passing a judgment on the then Chief Election Commissioner. I think we should wait for his version. But when it is truly appalling when you look at the kind of figures that has been dispersed into India, and moreover, my worry is that when USAID mentions $21 million for voter turnout in India, when it mentions $29 million for strengthening...
Take it off, yaar. I'm talking to the guest.
Those are only code words. Those are only code words. Those are only code words because we saw how they strengthened democracy in Bangladesh. They ruined it completely. Similarly, voter turnout in US was 62% in the last elections. In India, it is in the vicinity of 67, 68%. We don't need an increase in voter percentage. The money was probably sent with a clear intent for the Congress party to demonize our electoral institutions, to demonize EVMs, and then question the electoral lists, which they have been doing as a plan over the last many years.
No, 1 minute. Just one. Tuhin. I am not casting aspersions on SY Qureshi. What I'm saying is, I'm asking a question. Did SY Qureshi and the then election commissioners not know that USAID and George Soros's Open Society Foundations were funding the IFES, which is a key part of the Consortium for Elections and Political Processes Strengthening, CEPPS, which is a US-backed coalition that influences elections worldwide? And don't tell me that the Indian Election Commissioner was advising the Americans on how to conduct their elections. Why was the need for this? What's wrong in asking that question?
Arnab, you should ask my question. My limited point is, like Sanjeev Sanyal had mentioned, many of these USAID and other organizations work in layers where you don't exactly know the truth. So yes, the Chief Election...
Sir, the Election Commission of India has the status of a tribunal under the Constitution. I'm sorry, but it demeans the Election Commission of India to enter into a private agreement with a private body co-sponsored by Soros, USAID and the US State Department. We have the highest respect for the Election Commission of India, but it has the status of a tribunal, not answerable even to the government of India. If you're not answerable to the government of India, how are you taking money from a body that is taking money from the US State Department and the US government? I'm not clear what is going on here.
The questions are perfectly justified. Just 1 second. The questions are perfectly justified, and ideally Mr. Qureshi should explain. But my worry is the behavior of certain politicians in the last few years, particularly Rahul Gandhi, particularly people like Mahua Moitra, make it seem that it was private individuals who were the recipient of these US aid funds primarily. And I think these private individuals, the questions which Mahua Moitra has raised in Parliament with respect to her imagined disenfranchisement of voters in Uttar Pradesh, where does that come from?
No, I'm asking also. I tell you, viewers,
many
now,
of whom are compromised.
No. They are wanting to give money because they want to run an anti-Modi campaign. You want me to be direct? You want to run an anti-Modi campaign, and therefore you've given 21 million. I mean, are we idiots or what? Do they think we don't understand? 65% voter turnout has been there in the 2024 elections. You think 20 million will increase the voter turnout? Kisko paisa mila, Pankaj? This is the only question. Kisne paisa liya? Kitna mila? 180 crore kis ko mile? Kiske khate mein gaye?
Arnab,
Sandeep, that's the question, Sandeep. That's the only question.
So the point is, Arnab, it's not a suggestion or anybody's case that Mr. Qureshi or the Election Commission has taken money. But the issue is he has given legitimacy to these organizations, and thereafter they have, run amok, and they've done whatever there is. He's given them a legitimacy, he's given them a platform. Can you imagine any Indian organization going and advising in America how to increase the electoral turnout in California, or how to finish the elections in 2 days by using EVMs or whatever it is? Would America ever allow? Now, this is where you're inviting, and I think, Arnab, there is the issue of the colonial mindset. We were a fledgling democracy over a period of time. At that point in time, you had
Take it off, yeah.
people come in.
Can't keep only-
But in the last 10 years, I think this assertion that we are today, big enough and grown up enough to handle our own affairs, that assertion the Congress of the UPA government didn't have. They continued to behave in their old colonial mindset that, the Westerners, the white men will keep on teaching us how to run the country, how to run a democracy, and that is where we are a victim of. See, the point is, Arnab, the interference of people, foreign powers trying to influence countries like ours is not new. It has been documented now. Vikram Sood's book will tell you that 1,400 Indian journalists and editors were apparently on the pay of KGB or CIA even in the 70s in the Cold War. But today, it has become much more blatant, active, and they are actually trying to effect regime change. It's not a question of trying to indirect influence.
I'm telling my producers. Yeah, my point is just for a minute, please. For a minute, I'm straying away from the issue here of Qureshi. Let's move away from that. We're not looking at that right now. So let's use the relevant pictures. Thank you so much. No. My point is this. My point is this, Pankaj.
No money.
Pankaj, it's all exposed now.
No money.
Pankaj, it's exposed now. Pankaj, it's exposed. You see, all this while these people used to say, no, we are ideologically opposed to Hindutva. No, you are taking money from the Americans to push an agenda. Everything is out now. The only thing that remains to be revealed, Pankaj, is who took the money. That's all.
You are taking USAID money for last 6 decades.
No, I'm talking about people who took money. Listen to me. I am talking about people, 1 minute, people who took money in the name of increasing voter turnout before the 2024 election.
See, you have been taking money for last 6 decades.
No, what do you mean you have been? I have not taken one naya paisa from anyone, so be careful about your choice of words. This is Republic. I am saying the government of India,
It is there for last around 11 years
So what you're saying is USAID has helped the government of India, so some private journalists and people taking money a little bit to work against Modi is all right.
It's not for working against Modi. There are many books which expose what US administration, its deep state, CIA,
I'm saying the Americans, Pankaj, I know Americans better than you. Americans will not give 1 cent. Americans will not give 1 cent free. एक lollipop आपको नहीं देंगे without charging you premium on it. Americans will not give any money free. So what was their agenda?
They are giving money for last 11 years also.
No. This money for voter turnout was before the 24 elections.
What is IDRF?
Yes.
What is GHHF? Who takes money from Cisco? Please expose that also.
The US 21 million grant for voter turnout was money pumped into India to promote something. What was that? And why was it given before the elections? When Joe Biden and Kamala Harris did not want Modi to be elected. Satish, bolo na, why are you quiet? आप डरते हो क्या सच्चाई बोलने से?
Why?
I'm not quiet. I am not afraid. I am saying, let him speak. Let him speak.
I'm saying put out the Mir Jafar's names in this country. Put out the names of the Mir Jafars.
Please do know.
I will know when I get a chance. When the paper information comes to me, I'll be the first to put it out. Because I think these people are not working as journalists or as NGO, they're working as agents. If tomorrow anybody from Iceland gives them money, they work for Icelandic interests. जहाँ से पैसा मिलेगा वो काम करेंगे. They are shameless. You know, there has been no Congress leader. Saurabh, without taking names, what do we know?
Absolutely. As I was mentioning earlier, this is the easiest thing. Now that the Prime Minister
these graphics, it's over, this subject.
Prime Minister had a successful meeting with the US President Donald Trump. This matter, I'm sure, is there part of our broader agenda. Now, I would urge the government to make sure through diplomatic channels to seek these names. who were trying to undermine India's democracy. Because obviously this is the right time, as they say, the winds are blowing for that. Donald Trump in the US, I can tell you, sitting here in Washington DC, Donald Trump here in the US is trying to find out names of people who undermined his own election. And he is also, India as a friend and a key, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi has a great rapport with him. This is the time for us to seek these names through diplomatic channels and also activate our agencies to see which are the organizations beyond this as well. Because I'm sure this runs much deeper. I was telling you about this whole narrative that is being set up by certain think tanks, certain NGOs on the garb of promoting democracy. You were mentioning foreign policy. You and me have covered foreign policy for the last 2.5 decades. We know exactly how these people want to undermine India's independent foreign policy as well by creating a whole narrative. So they all have to be probed. These sham foundations which spring up, which create all the conferences where they get people to try to undermine India's independent strategic foreign policies. They all have to be probed. And I think the government should take the cue here.
I think they should.
Must go back and sensitize the government there to take action there.
Yeah, because I have heard of some names who took money. Only thing, I'm held back for legal reasons. I can't put it out. But Sandeep, it's going to shake up things when we get to know who took the money.
That's where I think
there are so many people who've taken the money.
Rather than leaving it to individuals, either media, independent media people like you or some lone rangers like Sanjeev or anybody else, the government now needs to come out. Earlier it was defensive because whatever it did something, people pounced on them, citing freedom of media, freedom of press and houndings and that. But now that there is a
freedom of academia also, academic thought.
Of course. People who have got fancy chairs abroad, or they have got their fellowships, this, that, or the rest, and some people even got appointed as assistant professors in Ivy League colleges and all the rest. So those are the people who have to be named and shamed today. And the government has to come out. Earlier it had to be defensive when it went and raided.
Tuhin, do it.
No, we know what the BBC.
Tuhin, do it. Tuhin, do it.
We will do it.
You got a great opportunity. Tuhin, do it.
Absolutely, we will do it. Will
it be like this Robert Vadra kind of thing when you promise you do something but don't do anything?
Which we are, no, not at all. I think, this is a good time. The entire, across the world, there is an axis against wokes, against the liberals who have destroyed their own country. So yes, this is a good time. We will go after it. It may be time consuming because No,
I don't want it to be time consuming. Everything happens in
till that happens, the good thing, do you realize we have convinced the country?
First of all, you have got to get USAID out of all government ministries. You got to get USAID out of Sensex, out of BSc, NSC. You got to get USAID out of every part of the Indian government. You got to get USAID out of the health ministry. You got to do that. Tuhin.
It's not enough for Sanjeev Sanyal
We are determined to do that. That will take time, but
why should it take time? Can't we afford to do this on our own?
We have convinced No, because like I said, these are seeded very deep over the years. Many of them are recognized identities. You have layers and layers to peel.
Okay, we got to take calls.
It's going to take time.
Why should it take time? Should it take time? Brahma Chalani, should it take time? If the government wants to do it, they should do it immediately. Brahma Chalani. Should it take time?
Very good intelligence setup.
Brahma Chalani.
They can't do it. They are not.
Well, it is apparent that USAID needs to be reined in and cleaned up. Justifying the Trump administration's funding freeze. But since you're talking about the media, I don't know whether you know that the US government, through the State Department and the USAID, is the largest financier of the so-called independent media worldwide. And the purpose of USAID's media project is to bring journalism in alignment with US foreign policy establishment and US interests.
Exactly.
Under this funding freeze of the Trump administration, the action has frozen $268 million in USAID grants just for the foreign media in over 30 countries. That is the wide extent of the USAID's media management and information control agenda. In some countries like Ukraine, the USAID controls through its funding more than 4/5 of the media outlets.
Oh God, that's shocking. I got Lucky Bhalla calling from Raigad.
And there is a big irony on all this. The techniques that the USAID developed for overseas regime change operations were also sought to be applied against the first Trump presidency, including triggering impeachment proceedings against the then president. And the USAID also had a hand in the
Well, I think I can only say that the names are going to come out. People are asking, the names are going to come out. We'll get to know everyone's names. We won't spare anyone. Can I take a couple of callers? Okay, we got Lucky Bhalla from Raigad. A couple of callers. Lucky.
जी अर्नब जी नमस्कार।
नमस्कार।
सर मैं छत्तीसगढ़ रायगढ़ से बोल रहा हूँ।
जी।
मेरा सवाल अर्नब जी कांग्रेस के समर्थक जो भी आपके पैनल पे बैठे उनसे है। मेरा सवाल है, जब अग्निवीर योजना भारत में शुरू हो रही थी उससे पहले राहुल गांधी, तेजस्वी यादव और मनोज झा लंदन गए थे। वहां आने के बाद राहुल गांधी जी ने एक बयान दिया था कि पूरे देश में केरोसिन छिड़का हुआ है। राहुल गांधी जिसके खानदान में कोई पीएम से नीचे बना नहीं, वो केरोसिन वर्ड वो बोलचाल की भाषा में तो कभी सुनते नहीं होंगे। वो केरोसिन वर्ड कहाँ सुन लिए जो देश में केरोसिन छिड़क क्या बोल रहे हैं। अभी उनकी ये कई फोटो भी देश विरोधी ताकतों के साथ मिलते हुए, जैसे इल्हान उमर वगैरह के साथ।
जी
अभी उन्होंने एक वर्ड यूज किया, इंडियन स्टेट। हमारी लड़ाई आरएसएस बीजेपी के अलावा इंडियन स्टेट
नेशन से है। बिल्कुल।
कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं कि ये भारत विरोधी लोगों से मीटिंग में जो
बिल्कुल भारत विरोधी सोच है,
उसको बोल देते।
बिल्कुल विदाउट डाउट लकी जी, ये भारत विरोधी सोच है। और हम इसी सवाल को पूछ रहे हैं कि भारत में कई मीर जाफर हैं जिन्होंने 210 लाख डॉलर जिन्होंने अमेरिकन से लेकर इधर अपना मीर जाफर बिजनेस किया, इनके नाम पब्लिक होने चाहिए। आई एम श्योर द नेम्स आर गोइंग टू कम आउट। Ladies and gentlemen, 96% are for the public disclosure of these names. Not taking more calls tonight, but I want to tell you this. I have with me in my hands the National Family Health Survey, and with this tomorrow I will tell you how the health data of over a billion Indians has been stolen. I use the word stolen by the Americans when I'm back tomorrow. Without fail, please be with me tomorrow on The Debate.
Time for a quick breather.